Okay, we're going to go through a couple of different 10-minute programs. This is designed to do just during your lunch break. So if you've got an extra 10 minutes, maybe you take 20 minutes for lunch, you've got 10 minutes to spare, you can go for a walk, you can do other things. If you're at home or if you've got a bit of floor space near your desk, then you can drop down and do 10 minutes of exercise. So it all helps to disrupt sitting. I'll show you a little routine we can do just on the floor, and then we might do another 10-minute routine standing or otherwise. So the equipment, I'm just going to use a chair. That's all. I'm not even going to roll out a mat. So you can make yourself comfortable, more comfortable than me, but let's get into it. So the first one, laying on your back, your feet on the chair, pushing down with your heels. I'm going to do some bridges. If this is too easy, elbows on the floor, fingertips on the bony bits in the front of your pelvis, one leg up, and you're doing single leg bridges. So your hands and elbows are to make sure that your pelvis stays level so that you're not just lifting the leg that's on the chair. You'll notice it's different depending on how close you are to the chair. See how you go. Doesn't matter how many you do, we just want to get tired muscles. And make sure you're just trying to lift your hips towards the ceiling so you don't start to poke your ribs and lift with your back. When you've had enough, yes, swap legs. So as I mentioned in the last video, disrupting sitting is one of the best things you can do for your blood pressure, your cholesterol, your blood sugars. It is fantastic to release a few of those enzymes that help to break down fats in the blood, some lipases, help to move that sugar around, get it into those working muscles that love to either store it or use it for energy. And really good to get some circulation through your blood vessels to help drop blood pressure. So now, side plank, side bridge. So you're in a kind of seated position, elbow underneath your shoulder, hips and ankles in line with the elbow, and then fist in line with your knees. So coming up and down. But when you come up, I want you to push your hips forward. So you go from this bent hip position to a straight line from your shoulder to your knees. And then, mind the coffee table, mind the chair, lift and lower that top leg. Try and just lift from the ankle so you're not doing those clam exercises, different exercise. So up and down, lifting through that ankle, making sure that you don't bend through your hips as you go, as you get tired. We all do it. It's just all you need to keep an eye on. And then, swapping sides. So, same starting position. Make sure your elbow's right underneath your shoulder. If it's too far away, it's just awkward. Fist in line with knees, elbow, hips and heels. Up and forward with the hips, lifting and lowering that ankle. Just 1 minute. COVID life. So back to this one. You guys can keep going up and down with the ankle. You probably had enough. Okay. So see how we go with this next one. You're doing a kind of, it's a crunch. So a crunch is a sit up is where you obviously sit up. Doesn't need much explaining. A crunch is where you lift your shoulders until your back just about wants to lift. So your back stays on the ground, your lower back. And then we're pushing against the opposite, against one leg at a time. So pushing with two hands against one leg. So one leg stays on the ground, you lift the other one and you push against that knee. Can't talk very much during this one, I find it hard. So if you have any like rehabby physio exercises, that lunch break I think is a really good time to do it, because first thing in the morning you might be doing other forms of exercise. Around dinner times, often a busy time, and after dinner you don't really feel like doing rehabby stuff. But lunchtime, if you do it before you have your lunch, you still have 20 minutes for your lunch. What a deal. Okay, last one. This one's a bit of a Jane Fonda one, so kudos to Jane. Lifting and lowering that bottom leg. So you're laying on your side, lift and lower. To get some trim, taut and terrific inner thighs. Just up and down with that inside leg. When you had enough, you swap legs, swing that other leg in front, and again, lift and lower. We should have time to go through one more time. All right, so back to our chair bridge. Start off with two legs, even if you're going to go to one, just to feel what your normal movement is like. And then you want to try and replicate that movement with one leg. Remember, hips just straight towards the ceiling. No need to curl or roll or anything else, just lift them up and lower them down. All right, other side. So this is only going to be 10 minutes, but if you wanted to, you can obviously stretch it out to 15 or 20 by simply doing another round of these exercises. All right, back to our side bridges. So, elbow under shoulder, elbow in line with hips and heels, fist in line with knees, up and forwards to that bridge, so you make sure you get your hips really far forwards without bending your back, and then lift and lower that top ankle. And you're not trying to get a stretch, you're not trying to go as high as you possibly can, you're just lifting and lowering. Kicking the coffee table. All right, other side. Elbow, hips and heels, fist and knees. Hips all the way forward without bending your back, and then up and down with that top leg, keeping that shin horizontal and hips forward. Okay, now for that tough one, no talking. So that crunch position where your low back still stays on the ground. Oof, I'm getting hot. Resisting that knee in the air. So you make this one harder, the harder you push. And I try to put a little bit more pressure on my opposite hand, just so I can get this angle across my body a little bit more than straight towards the same shoulder. So think about bringing it towards your opposite shoulder. Okay, and then a little bit of Jane, laying on your side, lift and lower that bottom leg you've got straight out. Think about lifting your heel away from you instead of straight up towards the ceiling, reaching it away from you. Just the heel, don't worry about the toes. All right, oh, we're there, last exercise. As I said, if you like, you can go through a third time for another 5 minutes, or even a fourth time for a good 20-minute workout. Okay, good job. 10 minutes, start of your lunch break, give it a go. We might edit in a few more of these little routines if you do them. If you like them, I'm happy to create them. Okay, ciao.